You're listening to AI Prism from Seoul Economic Daily.
It's Thursday, May 21. I'd like to share some thoughts about CEOs. I mean, imagine running a company where your biggest liability suddenly isn't a bad product, but just the fact that your internal bonus structure is too transparent.
Right. Yeah, it's a massive squeeze, paralyzing corporate leadership right now.
Exactly. And so today's deep dive is really about this squeeze, and it all starts with the Samsung Electronics general strike happening today. Management they flat out rejected a 60-40 compromise from the Central Labor Relations Commission.
Yeah, and they rejected it specifically because of the underlying mechanism of their compensation. The union wants to, equalize payouts between the highly profitable memory division and the loss-making divisions.
Wait, equalize them completely?
Basically, yeah. But management is defending their OPI, which is the excess profit incentive. If they alter that transparent, profit-linked bonus formula, the entire performance pay principle just collapses.
But I need to push back here because management is staring down an estimated 100 trillion won, which is roughly 71 billion US dollars, in potential total damages if this strike drags out. Are they really willing to eat a $71 billion hit just to, protect a formula?
Well, they are, exactly. Because caving on the OPI structure destroys their long-term compensation discipline. But here's the bitter irony for CEOs. That exact same transparent bonus formula is now being weaponized against them from the outside.
Right, you mean because of the yellow envelope law?
Yeah, the Norenbontu beep.
Because this law basically expands the legal definition of an employer, right? Like, if a principal company controls working conditions, they're suddenly on the hook for subcontractor negotiations.
Mechanically, it's an absolute nightmare for principal companies.
Right.
I mean, think about SK Hynix posting a massive 45 trillion won or 32.1 billion US dollar operating profit.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a huge target.
Exactly. And because their OPI payout formulas are completely transparent, subcontractors know exactly what the direct employees are getting. So they're leveraging the yellow envelope law to demand direct bargaining.
So the subcontractors want a piece of that transparent pie.
They do. We're seeing this exact litigation risk just explode at SK Hynix, but also at Hanwha Ocean, Hyundai Motor, and Kia. Basically, every Korean CEO with a profit-linked bonus formula now has severe expanding legal exposure.
Wow, so corporate leaders are just getting squeezed from the bottom by these labor structures. You'd think they could, catch a break on technology costs.
Yeah.
Especially with Google I/O 2026 announcing that Gemini 3.5 Flash runs at, half the cost of OpenAI models.
Right. Every CFO is recalculating their AI budget downward right now.
Exactly.
But they're missing the macro trap here. Yes, the software inference is cheaper, but deploying enterprise AI requires hardware, and hardware requires capital, and the cost of capital just brutally reset.
You're talking about the U.S. 30-year Treasury, right? It just hit 5.200%.
Yeah, the highest we've seen since 2007.
Wait, but how does a U.S. Treasury yield specifically derail an AI rollout for a company operating out of Seoul?
Well, because that yield dictates the hurdle rate for any dollar-linked capital expenditure or debt. When it costs this much to borrow dollars, the minimum return a CEO needs to justify building a new AI data center just skyrockets.
Which is why the Bank of Korea is watching this incredibly closely. It fundamentally breaks the math for cross-border infrastructure investments. You pay more to borrow, which just crushes your margins.
Exactly. Which brings us to how companies are desperately trying to protect those margins.
Right. Let's look at the illegal way first. The Korea Fair Trade Commission just slammed a 6-year flour cartel with a record 671 billion won fine. That's 479 million US dollars.
Ouch.
Yeah, ouch is right. And the kicker, they were fixing prices while simultaneously absorbing 47.1 billion won, or 33.6 million US dollars, in government subsidies.
Unbelievable. That's a massive compliance warning for every cable, the large family-owned conglomerates looking to quietly pad their margins.
It's a stark contrast to how margins should be built. Look at Samsung Electro-Mechanics. They didn't collude. They innovated to solve a physical bottleneck in AI hardware.
Right, landing a 1.57 trillion or 1.1 billion US dollar contract with a US big tech firm.
Yeah, and they did this by pivoting their core technology. They're replacing standard MLCCs, those multi-layer ceramic capacitors, with highly efficient silicon capacitors.
And simultaneously locking down the supply of FCBGAs, the flip-chip ball grid arrays.
Yeah.
Those physically connect the AI chips to the main boards. They're making themselves an irreplaceable layer of the AI infrastructure.
It's the ultimate AI supply chain playbook.
It really is. Which leads you, the listener, with a final strategic question. If the physical hardware layer of AI requires this much massive capital and complete component realignment today, how is your own supply chain going to survive when the AI software layer fully commoditizes tomorrow?
That's today's AI Prism CEOs. This episode was produced with AI assistance based on Seoul Economic Daily reporting and reviewed by a human editor. AI Prism is a One Eye for Eye award-winning series. We'll be back tomorrow.
You've been listening to AI Prism from Seoul Economic Daily.